Every once in a while, in the middle of the night, I wake up in massive pain as one of my legs convulses, and it feels my legs in a vice grip as my muscles cramp at me defiantly until I attempt to stand on the floor and try to battle that pain and hold on to my bed frame until that pain actually ends. And that's when he tells me, leg cramps? You're low on potassium. You should eat a banana every day. So if there are bananas in the house, I'll eat one in the morning after one of those leg cramp episodes, because even though I'm a vegetarian, I'm really not that fond of bananas. So then I have to remind myself, you need potassium, and bananas are apparently high in potassium. But wait, I take a multivitamin daily. That has to have all the potassium I should ever need. So I read the label of my multivitamin jar, scan for potassium, and see that it only has 2% of the USRDA. Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. So I look for potassium supplement jars. As a rule, they don't exist. At first glance online, potassium hydroxide is available if you fill out a hazmat waiver form. And besides, potassium hydroxide is used for livestock, and potassium chloride is an ingestible for pets. And that's when he tells me, oh, they don't sell supplements of just potassium as a rule because it's toxic if you take too much. So since it's a health risk, they don't sell it. And all I could think was that if I took a ton of multivitamins, I'd probably have a toxic reaction too. So then in frustration, I looked to find the average amount of potassium in a banana. It was 3%. Really? 3%? That's all I need to stop my legs from cramping at night? Then why is the USRDA for potassium so high? And how bad for you can potassium be if they won't even put enough into your multivitamins and they won't even release it as a supplement? Then, while shopping, I looked at a flip-top sale can of Chef Boyardee at Kmart for $1. The can was for whole grain lasagna. I looked at the back label with the nutritional facts and I saw that it had 98 milligrams of potassium, which was 28%. So even though there's a ton of sugar and fat and salt in a can of Chef Boyardee, should I start shoveling down prepackaged pasta instead of bananas for my leg cramps at night? I mean, if I could find a surplus of potassium in a prepackaged can of Chef Boyardee lasagna, maybe I should look for potassium in other sales at the front of this local store. Let's see. Jolly Ranchers doesn't have potassium. Swedish Fish doesn't have potassium. Willy Wonka Nerds don't have potassium. Nestle Goobers don't have potassium. A can of Green Giant sweet peas doesn't have potassium. A bottle of Italian salad dressing doesn't have potassium. A bag of rigatoni noodles doesn't have potassium. And I really doubt I should be living off cans of Chef Boyardee whole wheat pasta lasagna. Besides, I think I'd be too afraid to even eat lasagna from a can. Really? So I'm sorry, but I'm just trying to figure out why you need potassium in your diet so much if I can't even find it easily in foods. And since they say bananas have potassium, I looked into it. Since potassium is needed in all living cells, a depletion of potassium in humans can lead to cardiac problems. But from what I've found, potassium is needed in plant production because I found that many vegetables as well as fruits, like bananas, I suppose, need it. But the way we mass farm now in this global economy, it's even leading to a depletion of potassium in the soil. And the thing is, potassium is usually found unionized in salts, meaning that it's water soluble and it gives potassium many chemicals in its ionized form, which I suppose is good for us humans since we're around 50% water. And this is the weird part. Because potassium is so water soluble, it never actually is found in its pure form of potassium. The English word, the English first called potassium potash, and derived from an old Dutch word for the way it was extracted after evaporating solution in a pot to leave traces of potassium, like ash. And it was first primarily used in the production of glass, bleach, or soaps, which seems totally fitting since of its water solubility. Then a German researcher introduced potassium into fertilizers, which is awesome for us humans who need potassium in our cells, so potassium can be in all plants and fruits. But now it seems due to our mass farming, the potassium fertilizers won't be enough, especially when in this modern age we usually opt for processed foods lacking potassium instead of fresh fruits and vegetables. And yeah, because of its high solubility with water, it can react with some of the elements, like hydrogen producing a ton of heat, or halogen detonating with a bromide, or even have an explosive reaction with sulfuric acid. That just reminds me of how potassium is so much like other elements that we need in our lives, that it can also have terrible repercussions when mixed in just the right way with just a select few elements. Because if I can get potassium into my body in just the right and natural way, maybe then I'll stop having muscle spasms at night, reminding me that I'm deficient in the element that all my cells so desperately need.